So this is MeTV Toons 2 months later, 2 months after its launch. It is. I made a first MeTV Toons focused video. It's like a month ago, probably. I don't know. And all my complaints and opinions on stuff still stands. There have been some slight schedule and show changes, but basically there's still some lack of variety, and also just some stuff I'm not interested in. This second video is gonna talk about mainly their cartoon blocks, because I don't really have anything to say on other stuff that isn't the cartoon blocks, so this video is basically just gonna be about this. So first I'm gonna talk about the one that's the most consistent, Bugs Bunny and Friends. I don't know why they called it Bugs Bunny and Friends instead of just Looney Tunes. I guess Bugs Bunny is more profitable and marketable, I guess, than the general Looney Tunes name, but it's still kind of weird. Basically, there's like 1,000 Looney Tunes shorts, but there's a bunch of them that wouldn't be aired and shouldn't be aired. So let's just say 700. The block is mostly good, but it's not really my dream Looney Tunes block. One thing, sometimes there is a bunch of really early or really late shorts that during my years of watching the 2015 Onward Boomerang never showed up. So, yeah, I don't know why this should appear, but apparently this is marketed toward the animation historians and fans and adults, so it's kind of a reason, but it's not really generally marketable to the average person, which I guess is me in this case. I don't really mind when they air early Porky Pig stuff, because that at least makes sense and is slightly marketable, but then they air stupid stuff like really early Merry Melodies that are just crappy and boring, and really late 7 Arts to Patty Freeling format films air with Daffy and Speedies and Cool Cat and Merlin the Magic Mouse for some reason, which is just garbage. They also air some of the shorts on Discovery Family for some reason, even though that's targeted towards dumb kids who are going to be even less interested. But anyways, besides it airing very early and very late shorts that no one cares about, the block is still good. Next is the Tom and Jerry block, which is marketed as the Tom and Jerry show, and the promos just show Tom and Jerry. But there's, well, basically most of the time for the hour-long block. I don't know why I specified that, because there's only an hour-long block, but for the block, which is an hour long, there's 6 shorts, 3 Tom and Jerry shorts, and then 3 other random other MGM cartoons, and usually there's a Tom and Jerry short, 2 other ones, then another Tom and Jerry short, and then another one, another random MGM cartoon, and a Tom and Jerry short at the end, which I think is kind of false advertising, because the promos just show Tom and Jerry, and it's called the Tom and Jerry show. No other MGM characters like Droopy or the Wolf, I don't even know if he has a name, but none of them show up in the promos or any of the art or intros or anything, so it's kind of like false advertising, but also most of the time they just air. And also on MeTV, they air a bunch of old, crappy quality Laserdisc VHS era quality Happy Harmony shorts, which are just garbage. I've watched a couple of them, and a couple of them are actually decent with some good animation and ideas and gags, like MGM cartoons usually have, but I have no idea why they're airing this garbage, which is even less marketable than Droopy and the other characters with Tex Avery shorts. So, yeah, false advertising. Though I do see why they didn't have the block be all Tom and Jerry, since it's only 167 shorts counting the Gene Dodge and Chuck Jones eras, which isn't counting a bunch of other random shorts like the special shorts and the Karate Card and the Mansion Cat and other stuff. So I guess I'm seeing why they're doing this. Still, there's a bunch of Tom and Jerry, there's a bunch of other Tex Avery shorts they could run. I don't know why they had to delve into the horrible and boring territory of the crappy harmonies. Next is the Woody Woodpecker one, which is called the Woody Woodpecker Show, and actually advertises other characters in the promos, not like the Tom and Jerry Show, which just false advertises. Also, this is the only block out besides Bugs Bunny and Friends that airs on Sundays, and all the other cartoons are in the, for some reason, 3-hour-long Sunday night Cartoon All-Stars. I don't know why Woody Woodpecker block gets extra exposure. Basically, this one is Woody Woodpecker shorts, and those are all other random Walter Lynch shorts. For the most part, the teams are decent with some decent gags and decent animation. These ones aren't really like notably or offensively horrible like some other cartoon blocks we're going to get to later, but yeah, I don't really have any problems with this one. Next is Popeye and Pals, which has Popeye but also has boring Betty Boop cartoons and some random Mr. Magoo cartoons thrown in there for some reason. I don't think the Mr. Magoo cartoons ever aired on MeTV on the Popeye and Pals block on Saturday mornings. This basically follows the same format as the Tom and Jerry show block, which has a couple of Popeye shorts and then random other Betty Boop and Mr. Magoo cartoons thrown in, but I'm pretty sure there's just one of each instead of the being like half the block, like with the Tom and Jerry show. They could have just made it all Popeye. I don't know how many Fleischer shorts there are, but I'm pretty sure that they could have just made an all Popeye block. And also, there are some barely even good famous studio shorts and some absolutely horrendous made-for-TV trash shorts for the least amount of reason possible. Also, I get why the Betty Boop cartoons are included, but they just suck and are boring, and it could have gone my whole entire life without seeing a single one of them, and my life would have been significantly better and improved. Also, I don't know why the Mr. Magoo cartoons are included here. They could have just had them be exclusive to Cartoon All-Stars, but I actually like his cartoons, even though it's kind of the same thing happening every time, so that's excused. And finally, Casper and Company, which has Casper and a bunch of other random novel Toon characters, which is rebranded as Harvey Toons when all the shorts are bought by Harvey Films and then rebroadcast through the Harvey Toon show, which has crappily rated titles and sometimes crappily redubbed shorts in bad quality. Apparently, MeTV Toons is working to restore these, but all of these are under the Harvey Toon branding. Some of them actually look pretty decent, but then some of them are garbage quality, and then one of them was from 1957, by the way. It was from a random kid matinee thing in horrid black and white quality, which is just ridiculous. How is that even approved? I don't think they should even air these if they're going to be in such shitty shape, and especially considering how most of the shorts are barely even good. So a couple of them that were decent, like the Little Audrey, Baby Human, and Herman and Catnip shorts, are decent, even if some of them are just kind of the same thing happening every time, but a lot of cartoon series are the same thing happening every time. And for what it is decent, but most of the Casper shorts is just the same thing happening every time, but with the least amount of variation possible. And it gets even worse when you go to the horrid TV era in like the 60s, where the animation is just horrid and the story is even more cheap somehow. So this block is just garbage. I don't even know why they even included it. Maybe like one random diehard fan of the internet would probably be clamoring for it, but yeah, a lot of people apparently enjoyed these, probably because they grew up with it. I, however, didn't grow up on any of these. So yeah, that just makes them cheaper and worse. And finally, the Cartoon All-Stars block, which is basically like a combination showcase of all of these. I actually like this block, but sometimes they do interrupt Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, Mr. Magoo cartoons and Popeye cartoons for some shitty Popeye cartoon or a shitty Casper short or some other random dumb thing that ruins everything. It also airs twice in a day, and both the times it's an hour long like some of the other cartoon blocks. There's a 3-hour long variant on Sundays called Sunday Night Cartoon All-Stars, and it's basically just the same thing but extended, no real difference in quality. So yeah. Also, one other thing I want to mention that isn't really a cartoon block, but just a random anthology series, Totally Tuned In, airs randomly for like 3 hours at a very early Sunday morning or Monday morning. I forget which one it is. This random anthology series of UPA and other Columbia cartoons that was made by Sony in the 90s, but wasn't broadcast in the US until the 2010s for some reason. And I don't know why it's even aired here when they could just have a regular UPA cartoons block, because there are some besides Mr. Magoo that are broadcast and those are in good quality. So I don't know why they don't just have a whole block dedicated to them or just not air it. The only possible reason I can think of for them airing this is because Jerry Beck was a part of the show and he's a consultant on the network, so that's probably the reason. Anyway, MeTV Toons is basically just the same exact amount of quality as it was before. I just want to make this video to discuss some stuff. One more thing I want to talk about is that sometimes the cartoons are censored. So yeah, most of the time just something super offensive in the cartoon, they probably just don't air it. This isn't like back then, like the 80s and 90s, where it's basically like the only outlet outside of overpriced VHS and Laserdiscs and other stuff. But yeah, but like a couple weeks ago they aired The Little Orphan, but it was a crappy PAL Laserdisc sped up print for no reason, and it censored the random blackface scene, which isn't one of the more obvious ones because I saw it as a kid and it wasn't immediately racist, though I am black, so that doesn't really make any sense. But the point is that I saw it as a kid on Boomerang, it didn't really affect me, so I don't really see why it's centered on this network for adults and not on the Boomerang network, which is for kids. We want to think that MeTV Toons is responsible for all these stupid cuts and censorship. It's probably Warner's who gave them that for some reason. So yeah. Now they've said that, it makes more sense that the Warner Brothers owned network owned the superior version, but still, that's just dumb. Anyways, yeah, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Bye. Another thing about censorship is that a lot of the Chinese and Japanese and Native American stereotypes, so the cartoons on the network have them, and I've seen them. They're not really extremely horrible, but I can't really speak on that since I'm not any of those ethnicities. They only seem to edit out the African American and blackface jokes and stereotypes and stuff. And I don't know why, but I have a theory, and that theory is that, well, MeTV Toons is mostly available in the US, where I don't imagine a lot of Chinese and Japanese and Native American people are, but I haven't really done research, so don't quote me on that. But also, African Americans are more generally accepted in our society than others, so yeah, that's my possible reason. A theory that my brother came up with was that I didn't want to possibly offend advertisers, since it's basically kind of sort of a small channel right now. It just launched like 2 months ago, well, almost 2 months ago, as of recording this right now. So I didn't want to possibly offend advertisers by showing something that's extremely horrible. So, yeah, I think that both of the theories that I mentioned could be good reasons, and also I brought this story. The end.